Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, welcome to the show. I hope you're having a great day and I'm glad you could make it. My name is Eric and in today's episode we're going to be making a cheesesteak sausage. Now, let me give you a little bit of backstory about this cheesesteak sausage. I'm subscribed to a particular YouTube channel called Smoky Ribs Barbecue. A buddy of mine named Russ runs the channel and he is a down-home southern boy just like myself. Now, Russ makes videos about all kinds of southern cooking, and I'm going to put a link in the description box below. Check out his channel, show him some love by subscribing. So in one particular episode over at Smoky Ribs Barbecue, Russ is making a cheesesteak sausage. And I got to tell you, it looked amazing. And I thought it would be perfect for the show because I love a cheesesteak sandwich. And what I love about the cheesesteak sandwich is just how simple it is. It's meat, cheese, a little salt, a little pepper, and that's it. So that's what we had to work with as we were formulating the recipe. So this particular sausage is going to be a fresh sausage. No curing agents are going to be used. That means we're just going to stuff it into a casing and we're going to cook it up and see how it tastes. So without further ado, let's make the cheesesteak sausage.
For today's sausage, we're going to do pork back fat, pork and beef. Now you could do all beef, or you can do all pork. Depending on the combination of meats you use, will have an effect on the texture. I like a combination of pork and beef, and all we're doing here is cutting our meat and fat into small strips. I want to be able to just slide this right into the grinder, have it grab the meat, pull it through without overwhelming, the auger or the head. So once we get that sliced up, we're just going to place this into the freezer because we want our meat partially frozen before we grind it. Now let's prepare the rest of our ingredients. Personally, I like my cheesesteak wit, so we're going to be adding onions to this cheesesteak. If you don't like onions, you can omit them. Or if you like bell peppers, you can add that too. Just make sure that you don't overwhelm the sausage with too many vegetables. So we're just going to dice that, set it to the side, and then get our provolone cheese ready. For the provolone cheese, all we're going to do is cut that into small strips, just like we did the meat and the fat. And now it's time to saute our onions. And as far as the onions go, we're just going to saute those until they begin to take on a little bit of color. That's going to add some nice sweetness to our sausage. Once that happens, we'll take them off the fire, and it's now time to grind our meat and cheese. If you want to grind your onions at this step as well, just make sure that they're chilled as well, and just toss everything through the grinder. I'm going to add the onions during the mixing stage, but however you do it is totally fine. Back into the freezer the meat goes, and let's look at our spices. We're going to do salt, pepper, and garlic powder. We're going to keep it very simple. And if you want to see the actual recipe with detailed instructions, check the description box below. I'll have a link right there. So there's our onions. We're going to add a touch of Worcester sauce, and then there's our salt, pepper, and garlic, and it's now time to mix. Our meat is chilled. It just came out of the freezer, and we're looking at anything between 30 to 34 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere in that range, ideally 32, 33, and it looks like ours is, yeah, there we go, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, perfect. We're going to go ahead and get this up and running, and at this point, everything else is pretty straightforward. We're going to add our spices. Next, we're going to add our onions. We're going to add our liquid to loosen up that batter. And we're just adding water, but you can add beef stock, chicken stock. I did wonder what this sausage might be like if you added Cheese Whiz, though. Maybe I'll have to try that. Finally, we're going to add our Worcester sauce. And that's it. We're just going to keep mixing until our batter gets very sticky, very tacky. And you know the deal. As soon as you grab a little handful of it, it'll stick to your hand when you turn it upside down. That's when you know it's ready. And it looks like we're good to go. So for me, total mixing time was just a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes max. You just want to keep an eye on it and try not to overmix it. If you overmix your sausage, you run the risk of generating too much heat, which could smear the fat, inevitably affecting the texture of your sausage, which would probably end up dry and crumbly. As far as casings go, we're going to be sticking these into some hog casings that we got from the sausage maker. They've been rinsed on the inside and soaked in some cool water for a couple of hours. And now we're just going to load it onto the stuffing horn. So we've lubricated the stuffing horn with just a little bit of water, just enough to get it wet. And that casing should slide on effortless. Let me show you a little trick to let you know that you're using the right size horn for your casing. Do this move that casing back and forth, and it should slide back and forth with no problem. If you do find that it's a little sticky or you're having a difficult time sliding it back and forth, it either means you need a little more water to lubricate the horn, or you might want to consider reducing the size of your horn one size. All right, so let's go ahead and get them stuffed, twisted, and pricked. Now that our sausages have been linked and pricked, what I like to do is place them in the refrigerator overnight, so for roughly about 12 hours. And I wish I could say everything goes according to plan always, but for whatever reason, the footage of that sausage got destroyed, so I remade the sausage, and this is what it looks like after being in the refrigerator for 12 hours. And so you could see here, it's definitely drier. The twist marks look like they've dried up. And so now we're going to cook them. And we're going to cook these sausages a little different. I'm going to be using a sous vide from Kitchen Boss set to 145 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to sous vide these sausages for 2 hours. Now, I'm just going to place them inside of a Ziploc bag, push the Ziploc bag into the water to get out all that air. That's going to create like a little vacuum in there. And then we're just going to close the bag off and put a weight on top of it to keep it completely submerged. And that's it. That's how we're going to cook these sausages. I know some of you have been asking to see how sausages can be cooked sous vide. You don't want to just put them in the water bath itself because they will sometimes have a tendency to expel moisture depending on how you made them. And that could damage the heating element on your immersion circulator. So it's 2 hours later. Our sausages are cooked. Let me just go ahead and take them out of the bag and show you what we've got going on in the bag. If you made your sausages properly, there shouldn't be a lot of rendered fat in the bag. And let me just kind of show you what we've got. It looks like we've got a little bit of moisture to be expected. Not a problem. Very pleased with that. And so let's go ahead and cut these up and get them going. So one thing you do need to know, if we were to eat these right now, that casing's not going to have a very snappy bite. It'll be tender, but it won't be snappy. And to get that snappy bite, we're going to fry these up on my tabletop grill. Now, I got this for my sandwich series, and I am having a blast with this thing, cooking all kinds of stuff. So it heats on the top and the bottom. So when we put our sausages in there, a little bit of oil, this thing is going to heat the top and the bottom evenly, crisping up that skin. It should deliver a nice, tender, snappy bite. So let's get that going.
All right, the cheesesteak sausage. And I got to tell you, this looks great. It smells just like a cheesesteak sandwich. Although I think that's primarily because of the aged provolone. I mean, that is definitely an odor that's prevalent in this sausage, and that reminds me of the cheesesteak sandwich. Nice smooth slice. It's not grainy or falling apart. And when I squeeze it, I'm not only getting a lot of that juice coming out, but I'm also getting like little pockets of provolone cheese that have been melted, sort of oozing through the meat. That looks kind of awesome. That's going to be fun. And the casing adhered to the meat perfectly. It's not loose in any area, and that's because we allowed it to dry first before cooking. And so I can tell you right now, this casing looks amazing. It looks nice and firm, just ready to be eaten. So we're going to go ahead and give this cheesesteak sausage a taste, and I'll tell you what I think. Here we go. Wow. That casing is so tender. And the sausage is incredibly flavorful, simply seasoned. I think that Worcester sauce Sort of levels it up a little bit. You know, it's kind of hovering around in the background with that flavor and adds a really nice dimension. Super juicy, super cheesy, almost like a cheese sauce has been added. And this definitely embodies the spirit of the cheesesteak sandwich. I got to go in for another bite. That's beautiful. That is seriously one tasty sausage. And if you like the cheesesteak sandwich, or if you like meaty, cheesy, you know, goodness, give this sausage a try and let me know in the comment section below what you thought. If you have any questions about how to make this cheesesteak sausage, leave them in the comment section below. And if you like this video and found it helpful or entertaining, a thumbs up is always nice. And if you're new to our channel and you like what you saw and you want to see more, now's the time to click that subscribe button and that notification bell. We're popping out a brand new video every day through the month of October for Celebrate Sausage Season 2. I don't want you to miss a single upload. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.